How optimistic are you about the Canadian economy?
I feel pretty good about it. I'd like to see our government doing a little more work on inflation, but then our friends in the States are having a worse problem than we are. Their inflation rate's much higher than ours, so I think we just have to go with the flow. The problem with the pandemic and the chain of supply and everything, it's just the way it is.
Yeah, the economy is in terrible shape. And if everybody got vaccinated, maybe it would help bring the economy back.
I have to be optimistic. I can't imagine that the government would let anything go too desperate. So I have to remain, otherwise you're always in a panic. So I have to remain optimistic.
Let's say I think this is a tough time for almost any state to deal with, the post-COVID kind of crunch and everything else. Right now, I can only hope that restrictions slowly ease and that life goes back to whatever the new normal is and potentially economic growth follows. But let's say hopefully optimistic, but not definitively so.
Right now, I'm not really optimistic. I actually got a business myself, and I was hit pretty hard by the pandemic, and also with the little stock crash in the last few weeks. I'm not too optimistic for the next few months, but I'm sure that in the next few years we'll be able to recover from it.
I'm positive that in general it will recover. I'm not sure that Alberta, in the way it handles things, is going to do as well as they could, since they seem to be focused on one economy or one industry. But if they get their head out, maybe they'll look around and see that there are other things that can be explored.
You know what? I think it'll all come back together. I think it's a very resilient economy, and I think the pandemic has shown that people look for alternative and try to make things work and look for the best that they can do, and I think it'll really help the economy.
Not very. Right now, like my husband and I, we both have really good paying jobs and all that kind of stuff, and we're looking at like owning a home at some point, but it's just very discouraging to see prices of everything. And when I first started driving, like gas prices were under $1, and now it hasn't been under $1 since like that first year I started driving. So it's just like everything seems to like keep building, and like despite having well-paying jobs, it's still sometimes like can't really go on trips and stuff because it's just so expensive for everything.
I think our economy has lots of potential. I think the oil industry has taken a huge hit here in Alberta, and there's a lot of room for improvement.
Not great. When you're printing money, you just end up with problems. It's happened before, and people start using it for wallpaper.
I'm optimistic. These things go in cycles. It's as bad now as it's been since the Reagan era in the early 80s. I'm old enough to remember that. I'm old enough to remember 12% interest at banks. It goes in cycles. I'm optimistic because of what economists are saying about what's going to be happening towards the end of the year, and that's a gradual turnaround. So bite the bullet, learn to adjust, and very, very sorry for empty shelves and expensive items. We're all paying it. We all don't want to pay it, but it's going to turn around.
I am optimistic about the Canadian economy because there's a lot of talk of, the economy is taking a big hit. But there's also parts of the economy that are thriving off of this. Whether that is a positive or a negative, I couldn't even begin to explain. But I think in the long run, we're going to be all right.
Oh, we'll bounce back. I believe in that. We have good people, we have good business opportunities, and I think we will go right back to where we were. I really do believe in it, and I hope people will just have that faith as well and try not to get too pessimistic.
Oh, wow, now that's definitely not good. We got a lot of inflation right now. The inflation is more than likely going to continue. The buying power of everybody is, going down, and the prices of living are going up. So that's probably not going to change, and I don't think that the federal government really cares about that. I think they care about a few corporations that, are their biggest supporters. They don't really care about the lower middle class.
Well, unless things change, I'm really not, because we're, with the shutdowns, having to support small businesses, having to give people that you know are being laid off money. You know, there's a lot of people out there right now that are struggling, that need help. So no, I'm not confident about the economy at all right now until we get this under control and people start acting responsible.
I'm not the most optimistic about it, but you know, I vote, and that's all you can really do, and just hope for the best. And I think it will turn around eventually. I think we'll come out of this.